first, Steve Lacey. He's a Bristol artist, and he had an experience, he says, of a poltergeist on 4 to 5 Clifton Triangle South. The most recent incarnation of that building was the Grand City Chinese Restaurant, but it happened to him a long time ago when it was still called the Chopsticks Chinese Restaurant. That is in between the Oz restaurant and now Zizzy's. It's still, I believe, a sort of derelict building. But anyway, let's let Steve Lacey, Bristol artist, tell the tale.
My name's Steve Lacey. Back in the 70s, we had a few problems at the restaurant, basically the Poltergeist experience. It's called the Chopsticks Chinese Restaurant on the Triangle South back in the 70s. Then it became the Grand City.
Which part of the triangle is that, and what's there now?
That's at the top of Park Street, and it's on the Triangle South. And now it's derelict. We're looking for someone to buy the place.
Maybe it's not been sold because of the poltergeist is still there.
Probably. There were rumours that it was there in the 90s and the 2000s, so more than likely.
For a lot of people who don't believe in this kind of thing, is there anything you could say to convince people?
Luckily, it wasn't just me. We were cooking one night, and different people have different explanations for this. The Chinese call it Bei Guai Jat. It's when the spirit suppresses you down, be it on the staircase or in the room, on the floor as you sleep, and then about 3 minutes you can't talk, you can't breathe. The medical term is sleep paralysis, but obviously when it leaves a black mark, like you've been punched by Mike Tyson, it didn't happen to just me, it happened to 3 other chefs who then decided to drive home, and I decided to run home to fish ponds after that. First experiences happened back then. And then obviously, because you left the house, you didn't work there, you left the restaurant trade, and then there were years of nothing really happening. And then I decided to put what I found into art, the way of expressing the subconscious mind, how you receive things, how you perceive things, and they start making models to that effect,
So you're, in a way, you're getting visions of some sort. You're basically seeing things. The idea is, rather than just then forget about it, to actually try and do something with that, express it artistically.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done. I expressed how it kind of works, how you receive it, what part of your mind you get it in layman's term, and then put it into models to emphasize how you see things. For example, if you're to see a flash vision and happen to run into the future, then maybe the past, present, and the future are all interconnected, and you just flash vision of something that's ready to record, but not yet manifested. So I made models to that effect. More or less, you roll into the future, but in reality, it's kind of behind you. You roll into the future, which is the past.
Well, it sounds to me like some sort of time machine.
I think we're in a huge time machine, and this is it.
What was the first actual artwork that you did, though? Because it's not paintings or anything, it's three-dimensional art you're doing, isn't it? What was the first thing?
Yeah, the first thing I'd done was what we called the Rock of Truth. I wanted to have a hobby because I couldn't sleep at night, insomnia. So I thought I'd do painting. And I was down Weymouth one night, I seen these door stoppers on rocks. So I'll try and paint a rock, So I painted, well, I couldn't do it. I'm rubbish at painting. So then I thought, why don't I just make something? I'll put something on there, how I feel, how I think the existence is. So then I started writing the stuff, and I built a rock with a computer coming out of it, and I called it the Rock of Truth. And on it, if I can remember what I wrote, this existence is multidimensional. To understand it, you need to look at the past, present, and the future. They're all interconnected, and knowing in advance will change nothing, because it's only a matter of consciousness, which is temporary state of mind, not anything that you own. And that's basically what I put on the rock.
Must have been quite a big rock.
No, it wouldn't. It's a tiny
rock. You have to have a magnifying glass to read it.
My daughter wrote it, so yeah, she's quite good. A little tiny bit of writing. But
okay. And then you decided that rather than try and do paintings, you would do this, I suppose, what you call conceptual art. That is to say, it's something that you could stick on a table, for example.
That's right. Yeah, I've done some got quite big, like the subconscious mind one got very big. I welded a big globe together, and I put all the events that happened over the past, all around the whole thing, and then coming down into the subconscious mind, I had bought a head from a medical company, opened that up, and put the picture into the head. So when you receive it, it comes from this huge database of past, present, and future existences. So different planes, different levels, and then you can either tap into the past or the future. Very similar to remote viewing, like people talking about. Mainly, people get flash visions or warnings or even dreams. It's not as complex as people think. It's dreams that enter the subconscious mind, and then you see it, and then sometimes you roll into it, which we can call premonition, vision, prophecy. Any name is the same thing, I believe. It's the same thing, but in a different format.
But the thing is, for most of us, dreams are just like gobbledygook. They're nonsense that doesn't really seem to make any sense.
Oh, yeah, I quite agree. But sometimes there are these flash visions we get, or premonitions, or even that feeling something's going to happen today. You know, I'll tell you a quick story. I was on the buses, working for a Bristol City bus, and I had a premonition there's going to be a fight, angry, you know, on a Friday night. I thought, oh, my God, this feeling won't go away the whole day. So I paid someone who was playing a fruit machine to £5 to change journeys and go the other way. So rather than going to Knoll, I went to Lochleys.
The idea being that Lochleys is a bit safer, is it?
A bit safer, and a bit safer. I thought changing my destiny. So I'm going away from what I could foresee or feeling like God. And lo and behold, we get past Cumberland Road. Oh, it all starts, kicks off, ambulances, police, and I pay to go into my destiny. It could be a coincidence, but I mean, that's one incident.
Well, just tell us what had happened on the bus that night.
Oh, the Knoll people had to get off before the Whitchurch, and they were at the back, and the Whitchurch lot were at the front, and it was one remark, you know how it works, one remark, oh yeah, bang, 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 and that's it, blood, police, bottles, and everything, and your usual Friday night.
So your time machine, can you use it to look into the future for Bristol?
Okay, Ferguson, scrap this parking. There's number one. No, I met him at Chinese New Year, he's all right. No, at the moment, well, it doesn't work that kind of way, you know, you just plod on regardless, you know.
Isn't that a bit of a cop-out, though? Because, I mean, if you're saying that you're sometimes seeing these things that happen in the future, you know, everybody wants to know, Steve, you know, and if you can get it right, then we can say Steve's a genius, and if it doesn't work out, this is the test, isn't it, really?
On my street, I help out people who are going to give them lifts there, you know, and we need to do more of this, much more, you know, look out for them, look out for the elderly people, look out for the young people, do you know what I mean? Encourage the young people. A lot of the time, the young people are angry because no one's paying any attention to them. So I totally agree with you. Yeah.
What about the youth? I mean, have you got children yourself?
My children are quite old now, but the young ones, I spend a lot of time with young ones. You know, with my models and work I do, and encourage them. And I spend a lot of time with them. I enjoy with young people. They're quite smart. They're more smart than what you think, you know. And it's nice to be with the younger lot, you know.
And you think that there's, even though the future is a bit dark, that actually there's something positive to say to young people. How do you encourage them?
Well, I just say to them, if we come together, look at each other, stay on the right path, you will get on. And luckily, a lot of the young people can snap into this kind of way of thinking, you know. We talk about corruption with the government and the local establishments. They know something's dreadfully wrong. And they don't need any, much private, you know. They know what's going on. They know the corruption side of things. And I think together with the young, we can overcome this.
Steve, where can people find your artwork? I know you've got a book out, for example, haven't you? It might cost a little bit, but and are you likely to be exhibiting in the city centre? I know you had an exhibition a couple of years ago. Yeah,
there's a website you can go on called Unassimilated Research Group. That's on Facebook.
That's a bit of a complicated one. Unassimilated Research Group. Okay.
Yeah. And that's got all our local stuff we do it now on. Plus it's got all the stuff that we highlight to do with all kind of stuff, Bilderberg, New World Order, you know, all kind of music stuff, you know, music agenda, where they're going with their stuff, which is quite important for young people.
Well, just explain that for a minute. That's something we hadn't touched on. The music agenda. What is the music agenda?
I think it's the people behind the music. It's gone almost satanic. It's got a theme to it, which is dark. And we need to lighten that up a bit. We need positive role models in the music business, not all doing the same thing. You know, covering the eye, doing your triangle, and that has to. We have to have an alternative, and I think when that do come, it'll be healthy, and people will embrace that. You know, at the moment, you probably don't realise it. It goes along with the society gloomy. You know, we need this uplifting. You know, secret prophecy, Steve Lacey. It will come up, but we're trying to get a smaller version so we can make it more affordable for people.
Brilliant, Steve. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us. Any thoughts about when your artworks are going to be exhibited in the city next?
I don't know. My wife and my mother give me a hard time about my models. They were big, and I really find it difficult to go and make some more. But posters, I might do a little poster exhibition in the very near future, but I will keep you posted.
Okay, thanks, Steve Lacey, very much.
Thank you, Tony.
Today's a funny place. We're waiting for dinosaurs to win the race. You know that little things have a big impact. So skip and turn, bend and jump back like a butterfly in full effect. 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 Yeah. Look around this world today. You see that selfish men get their way now. Flutter by on waves of sound. Little wings bring the whole thing down. Like a butterfly in full effect. 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 Yeah. Drunk on the sense of power. Like a butterfly in full effect. Like a butterfly in full effect. Like a butterfly in full effect. Like a butterfly in full effect, yeah.
That was the Blue Orchids there from 1993 with The Butterfly Effect. Be lovely to hear one day. I'm sure John Peel did a session with them, and the Peel session version of their songs was fantastic. If anyone can track it down, do send it into BCFM or find Dialect online at dialectradio.co.uk and let us know. That was also Steve Lacey. We ought to just remind you, the Bristol artist there. The address of his so-called Poltergeist experience was 4 to 5 Clifton Triangle South. That is most recently incarnated as the Grand City Chinese Restaurant. When Steve was working there, it was called the Chopsticks Chinese Restaurant, and it's in between the Oz Restaurant and Ziggy's on Clifton Triangle South. And you'll find Steve online and on Facebook. Online, it's Unassimilated Research Group, UNASSIMILATED, Unassimilated Research Group, .blogspot.co.uk. He's also another one, which is unassimilated.blog.com, the same spelling, unassimilated.blog.com, and you'll find him also on Facebook, Unassimilated Research Group.
Bristol Community FM 93.2. Your voice, your choice.